podcasting from the Allen Media Worldwide Headquarters Studios high atop the Two Turtle Creek Tower. This is Deconstructing Dallas. I am your host, Ryan Trimble. Looking out across our fair burg, Dallas, Texas, here with my outstanding, fantastic, knowledgeable co-host, Sean Williams. Sean, good day, sir.
Ryan, what is up? Good day to you. We are really starting to get in the groove. This is like the fourth week in a row that we have successfully, well, as of about, when we get it up on the web, but successfully produced a podcast. That's something that's worth being excited about.
And hats off to you, sir. You have done yeoman's work getting this thing together and basically self-teaching yourself how to produce. So my hat's off to you.
Well, you'll have a chance to make it up in some sort of way, so I'm not going to go too far with that, but thank you.
Well, maybe I can drive you to the polls since it is early voting.
I like it. We need to get out there and participate.
That's right. Do your civic duty. This is a PSA from all of us here at Deconstructing Dallas. Please go vote. It is really important to the future of our democracy that you get involved.
We had Fred Gray here in our studio, on our podcast to talk about, protecting the rights of folks in Selma who were just protesting for the ability to vote. And so we should not take that for granted because some people have fought and literally from the beginning of this nation have died just so that we could do that.
Absolutely. So please get out there and vote. And one of the reasons I think people vote is because of really important issues and how our elected leaders handle important issues, one of those issues being transportation. And that's why I'm really excited about today's episode, Sean. And you got to sit down with one of our local elected leaders.
Yeah, you said me, and we'll get to talk about why I will be the only voice that is heard on this interview. But coming up today, it is exciting to talk to one of our good friends, District 10 council member, and also chair of the Public Safety Committee here in Dallas, Adam McGough. It was a great interview, and I enjoyed spending time with my friend Adam, but you were nowhere to be found. Well, I can't say you were nowhere to be found because you were literally across the hall from us.
Literally right next door to you, Sean. I was with our outstanding client, Microsoft. We were with the new president of, relatively new, Kate Johnson, who's the now president of Microsoft US. And she was in town, and so we were meeting and greeting around town and thought I was going to be able to make it literally 20 feet from the room I was in.
The scheduling could not have been any better since we were right. I mean, I could have thrown one of our squishy balls that we hold while we're podcasting across the hall and probably hit you with it. But hey, that's the way it works sometimes.
But here we are, and I know that it was an outstanding interview, and our big thanks to Councilman McGough. You got to talk to Councilman McGough, Chairman McGough, about the 635 East project, a project that's seems to have garnered a lot of attention here locally in the past few weeks.
Yeah, and I saw the first discussions about the project online. I saw Twitter posts about LBJ East, and really they were really heated, as you said, and I had no idea what people were talking about. And so I went and, of course, did some of the trademark research and digging that we do here at Allen Media and realized that the I-635 East project involves the rebuild, the expansion of 635 from I-70 from Central Expressway 75 over to I-30, and it's a part of town that you are familiar with.
Yeah, point of personal privilege, Mr. Speaker. This project affects me directly, so I am very interested in seeing this thing go through. I absolutely used to dread driving on 635, but now that 635 is done, at least between Interstate I-35 and North Central Expressway.
Kind of the west.
The double-decker, the western portion of this, the northern top that goes across the top of the Metroplex. I used to dread going on there. Now I love it. And I'll tell you what, we have one of our great Walmart Supercenter locations right there at Midway and LBJ. Love that store. Go shop at Walmart, by the way. But we've had events there early in the mornings, and without those managed lanes, I would have missed these events, Sean.
I did not go to that part of our region intentionally for years. I mean, just the thought of having to go on 635 was just something, as a Southern Dallas resident, didn't seem like any fun to me. But since those tolled express lanes have opened, it is a totally different feel. It's a totally different time commitment. I've gone downtown and go across the north and maybe pop off and catch something over Valley View area. You can do that without dreading it, which I think is what we want out of a transportation system.
That's right. And I've thought for a long time, ever since my time working in the legislature, that the real issue facing Texas is managing our growth. And transportation is absolutely one of those areas we need to manage. And to finish my point of personal privilege, I dread going on 635 East, especially when I'm trying to get home to see Mrs. Trimble and the kiddo, because if I get past 75 during rush hour, the thing grinds down to a halt. And so I would like options, and I'm opining here, and I should let I guess I should keep my opinions to myself. But hey, it's our podcast.
It is our podcast.
I get to share my thoughts,
this directly affects you, and so I think that makes you the kind of person that needs to speak out about this. And when you talk about participating in the process, there are folks like yourself who live in the area, and I know Councilmember McGough will be talking about how he had an open meeting where people could come out and voice their concerns, get their questions answered. And that's what it's about. When you have a question or when you want to know more information, you can go out, talk to your council member, talk to your state representative, talk to your state senator, because they do listen. And usually the people who are organized, the people who have great points to make when they're talking with them, that's who they try to take their cues from.
Well, I appreciate you getting this done. This is a really important issue for me, selfishly, and for our city. So let's jump right in, Sean. And after the break, we will go to our interview with Dallas City Councilmember Adam McGough. This is Deconstructing Dallas. Ryan Trimble, Sean Williams. We'll see you here in just a sec.
Back to Deconstructing Dallas, and as promised, we are here to talk about 635E, and with a subject matter expert here at Dallas City Hall. I am excited to talk to a friend of the show. He is Councilmember Adam McGough, who is also the chairman of the Public Safety Committee. But this is a transportation topic, so I guess that's cool, right?
It works.
So thank you for talking to us on Deconstructing Dallas, and thanks for giving us a little bit of your time.
Absolutely. Anything for you, Sean.
Now, I mean, we are in a place, we both worked in the mayor's office at one point in time. Now, I have to take a point of personal privilege. Like, what is it like to go from being in the mayor's office kind of staff to now you are on the council, you're not seeing necessarily a different part, but you're working in a different way. Like, what's that been for you?
I tell you, one of the biggest differences is I thought once I left the mayor's office that I would be able to control my own schedule. And I thought that'd be helpful. But the truth of it is I've lost control of my schedule more than I even had when I was following Rawlings around. I know you know what that's like, too.
Absolutely.
So, it's a constant grind. I have to remind myself that this is something I get to do.
Absolutely.
It's not something I have to do. And it's a huge honor to serve and to represent constituents. And that's really why, this whole battle about 635 has kind of come up, because it's what the people I represent want. And so I found myself just jumping in the middle of it. And you called me a subject matter expert, and I would say I am that now. It's not something I necessarily wanted to be, but I've become so, at least to the best of my ability.
Now, in January, I believe you went to Austin. You talked to the Texas Transportation Commission, and you gave them some feedback. So what did you hear while you were in Austin, for those of us who may have just seen media reports? Like, what did you see while you were there regarding 635 East?
Well, so what brought us to Austin was first we had this project, which even defining the project is somewhat complicated, but essentially the project is the expansion of LBJ from 75 all the way down to Interstate 30. It includes two big projects. It includes the Skillman Bridge interchange, which is the most dangerous intersection in our entire region by almost double the amount of accidents at any other intersection in the entire city. And
is that like on the exit ramp there at Skillman?
As I understand it, they include everything basically off of 635. So as soon as it's kind of a spaghetti of streets as you cross Ardelia, and it turns into Skillman and leads up to Forest and Ardelia, and it's just a disaster up there. And so we've, in addition to everything else, every month we're averaging between 1.5 and 2 deaths and at that stretch of the highway, including the Skillman interchange.
Over how much of a period?
Almost every 30 days.
Wow.
And so additionally, we can talk about it more later, but also every 30 days of delay is a $5 million impact to taxpayers as it relates to the cost and of this project moving forward. And so those are just two of the reasons why it has become so important. But this project was a done deal. Mm-hmm. Now, we have had several iterations of this over the last really 17 to 20 years is how long this project's been in the making. And in fact, we have some of our constituents from the community right there that have been involved from day one in this. And that's a pretty big ask for some of the folks. And I always mention her name, Susan Morgan, if you're listening. She's our champion behind this one. And she's been pushing for this from the beginning. One of those that went and spoke with us in Austin the first time. And as of going into the December meeting, the project was environmentally cleared. Funding was allocated completely. It was not totally designed, but pretty close to being designed, had been pulled into a project where it would be a design-build project. And it included additional free travel lanes, well, they're tax-funded, but free lanes on each side. So a total of 5 lanes going in each direction.
Which currently is it 4?
It's currently 4. It included continuous frontage roads, which are huge for that area because right now we have no relief outlets for when there are all the accidents and travel. But it also opens up a huge opportunity for economic development. We've got a DART station up there. We've got 29.6 acres of vacant land. We have, as this Skillman Bridge clears up, it opens up another several acres of developable land. It just becomes a huge opportunity around transit, around a busy intersection, and a central location to our whole region. And so the continuous frontage roads are huge. And it includes, the plan includes 2 going each direction, optional tolled express lanes. And that's where we get into the big issue.
And is that where the pushback is on the toll lanes or the optional toll lanes?
It is. And so the main reason is we have some of our state elected officials that have run on a anti-toll road platform. And it gets a little into the semantics, but even if you look at Prop 1 and Prop 7, which passed over 70% across the state, that was basically taking money that was really kind of misallocated and putting it back into transportation because the state is unwilling to change the gas tax. And so we are looking at different options and ways to fund different projects. And so taking those optional tolled express lanes is what helps fund this project. And it includes now the interchange down to Interstate 30 as well. Mm-hmm. And it had optional toll lanes the entire length. Now, the original project was environmentally cleared, fully funded, shovel ready basically. We had be about an 8 to 9 month process of procurement that again was supposed to be voted on in December. And so by September, October, we'd be procured, we'd be ready to roll and start construction first quarter. And the way it was originally put forward, it'd be a little less than a 4-year construction period, and which is good. I mean, everybody was excited, everybody got part of what they needed out of it. But that whole discussion of is it a toll road or an optional tolled express lane, even in the Prop 1 and Prop 7, it said, all right, we're going to use this money that's coming in now for transportation projects. And they added on at the end a phrase that said, but none of it would be used for toll roads. Got it. Well, what has happened now in the